I'm Kinky Friedman. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I lived there 1 year, couldn't find work, moved to Texas, where I haven't worked since. Perfect happiness is smoking a Cuban cigar in Las Vegas. I don't have any fears. I'm not afraid of life or death or success or failure. I'm just afraid I may have to talk about myself for more than 5 minutes. I most admire Charles Bukowski, the poet. Nothing. I'm pretty high on myself, actually, so there's no qualities that I really dislike in myself. Of course, it took 61 years to get here. Probably what I dislike most in other people are some of the qualities found in politicians. Self-importance, pandering, patronizing people, and not telling the truth. Smoking Cuban cigars and going to Las Vegas are probably the two areas that I'm most excessive in. Yeah. Those are my only two vices. The virtue I find most overrated is probably righteousness that is not really righteousness, that's self-righteousness. People who will give you a gift because they've outgrown the gift or don't want the gift. That's not a true Christian gift. A Christian gift is something you care about, you really love. If I loaned you a Cuban cigar, that would be a Christian gift. Well, the biggest challenge in life is probably getting through certain tragedies and becoming a better captain of your soul, as you move along. Yeah. Funny people. Willie Nelson makes me laugh. He told me a joke this morning. He told me there was a retired bass player who moved out to the suburbs, and one day a middle-aged woman shows up at his door and she says, "I have your child." And he says, "Oh my God, was this?" I'm trying to think. He says, "You look very familiar. Could it have been Cincinnati, was it?" I said, "We went and we got into the hot tub afterwards and we rubbed lotion all over each other. Was that?" And she says, "No, I'm the teacher. I have your child in my car." He asked me if I'd seen Brokeback Mountain. And I said no, and he said, "Well, they've got some nice looking sheep in there." Yeah, my motive for writing books is to entertain and to express the truth as I see it. That's the motive for doing anything. The people who set out to save the world never do. The guy who sets out to write the great American novel never does. It's all done accidentally. It's all done by people who are trying to pay the rent. I'm not a politician. As I said, I have no political experience whatsoever. What I am is a compassionate redneck. I'm 61 years old. That's too young for Medicare and too old for women to care. But I care very much about Texas, and I want to see what we can do for her. Well, I wouldn't be the person to define what's my most obvious characteristic. I guess in the visual field, if you're stupid enough to wear black in August, to dress in black in August, then you're stupid enough to be governor. Amongst the people I most admire are people like Sam Houston and Davy Crockett and Teddy Roosevelt, who were accidental candidates, who'd never schemed and plotted to run for office, but just saw something they wanted to try to fix. I was never very big on awards, and possibly because I never received very many of them. Kind of like Waylon Jennings, I don't like them. I don't think they mean much, usually, and so I'm not into that. I don't know. I don't know what's the lowest depth of despair. I've been miserable for 61 years, but things are starting to look up, A dung beetle, which is held sacred, of course, by the Egyptians. I think that'd be the highest form of spiritual development I could achieve. And also, it'd probably get a lot of votes in Texas in the campaign. We have a lot of dung here, and the big difference between New York and Texas, actually, is the difference between pigeon shit and horse shit. I like Texas, like her very much. I think Texas has a certain degree of spiritual elbow room that most other places don't have, and it's got an independent spirit, which is very much, by the way, like the Israelis. There's a kinship, I believe, a spiritual kinship between the Israelis and the Texans, and they're very much like Davy Crockett, maybe, or John Wayne type of person. That's good. They have a lot of resolve that America sometimes doesn't. Well, again, I dislike people getting screwed, I don't like that. I don't like the Texas lottery money going to the lobbyists and politicians, whereas the Georgia lottery money goes to education. So every kid in Georgia with a B average in high school goes to college free. In Texas, no one can find the money. We don't know where it went. Probably now. Happiness is a moving target. And It's a transitory state, and I think the blind pursuit of happiness is a waste of time. But I am happy now, and I'm always looking to the future. Well, it's always fun when people who didn't take you seriously suddenly do. I have to admit that's enjoyable to see. I'd like to have the talent of surviving this interview without strangling the interviewer. A politician is the worst. They are robbing us with fountain pens. You know, most of them are, like my three opponents, they happen to be good people. They're all good people. But between three of them, they have 89 years of political life. Three little people in politics for 89 years. And that's just not what the Founding Fathers wanted America to be. I think there's very little we can do. I think we're all little ants scurrying about, you know. Some of us get our feelers hurt now and then. I'm not sure we can do anything to change what's going on in the bigger world out there. We could fast until there's peace and freedom in the world. That's an idea. Well, I think we're close to being there right now. Success is being a band of gypsies on a pirate ship that was heading for the governor's mansion and is now almost there. Success is people that are asking you, are you serious? And now they're saying, thank you for what you're doing. Light a Cuban cigar with my old parking tickets. That'll be fun. I also want to open the Indian casinos. That'll be very important to me. I wear this little Indian chief ring to, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. To remind me to open the Indian casinos, which have been shut down in Texas. Even-minded. I strive to be for the even-mindedness of the Mahatma, where I'm not too excited about anything and I'm not too depressed about anything. And I want to be a messenger of hope. I want to be a dealer in hope. My favorite sound? My favorite sound is humor is very important I think, to political office. The politicians don't have it. They have humor bypasses. I think that the circus needs clowns, just like donkeys and elephants. And I agree with Will Rogers. Will Rogers said that the politicians are the greatest comedians of them all. The only problem is every time they make a joke, it turns into a law. And every time they make a law, it turns into a joke. Be yourself. That way you never have to remember who you are.